I want to show you guys a new technique that I've been testing this week, and it's gotten pretty good results. Let me show you here. Hey, Peter, how you doing? Look at this. I mean, this has gotten pretty good results. Let me just pull this up here. Okay, you guys see some of the ROAS here? This is a new technique I've been testing on using this app called Quaya, and it's doing really well. So we're going to start this thing in about 3 minutes. Just waiting for everyone to jump in. And hopefully it's not, okay, there it is. Okay, yeah, this is weird. Like Zoom does not automatically join. Like if you want to join, I have to click admit. So if you leave the room and you try to come back in, and if I miss you, you might not be able to get back in. So it's kind of weird. All right. Did you guys have a good week so far? No, this is a new store. New store that I have here. This was the one. This was a store that I launched like a few weeks ago just for fun. And these are the ads that I didn't even do. Um, and this is like you see 71 campaigns. These are basically products that I had my guys automatically create and test. And it's kind of interesting because the win rate here is actually a lot lower than my usual, find 20 products and find one winner type of thing here. Yeah. Yeah. See, look, so like I'm gonna have to kind of monitor this participant group here. So whoever is trying to join or whoever leaves and tries to join again, if I miss you, I might have to, you might not be able to get in again. So just to give you guys a fair warning. So yeah, a few updates. There's a few updates today or this week. All right. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that today, about those Facebook updates and why it's important for you and why it's important for all of us actually, because it affects all of us actually. Okay. So let me pull up my notes here. All right. Cool. 12 o'clock. All right. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for watching and joining us. Session 53 of the Mastermind. So a few things that I want to talk to you guys about today. So the first hour, we're going to do Q&A. And then the second hour, I want to talk to you guys about AOV, how to increase your average order value. So yeah, you see, like I have to constantly monitor this chat box here to see who's coming in. All right. So we just had John and Sardar just join us. Okay, cool. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to talk to you guys today about, so first hour, let's do this. First hour, we're going to talk about, we're going to do Q&A and, hold on, mute. Some reason Zoom is not working very well today. First hour, we're going to do Q&A, and also I'm going to talk to you guys about Facebook news. Okay, there's a lot of news on Facebook about basically the scandals and the Cambridge Analytica and things like that. How many of you guys are familiar with that? Put a one in the box if you guys have seen the news and familiar with what's been happening in Facebook so far. Osvaldo, hey, how's it going? Good to have you on. Yeah, yesterday's thing. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I know a lot of you guys probably watched it. And I mean, like Mark Zuckerberg, this guy's a champ, right? He's getting punches thrown left and right, and this dude, he's just like, let me take him. Like, he's defending his company very, very well, which is awesome. Like, if I were in a position like that and I had to defend myself, he basically nailed it, right? So good for him, Mark. So here's a few updates that I want to talk to you guys about. Okay, so update number one. Let's do this. Yeah, for some reason it's not. Okay, here it is. We have some more people joining. We have Trent, we have Alyssa, we have Greg, we have Carmen. Okay, so you guys are joining. Some reason I have to add you on here, so it's weird. It's not automatically added. So That's really weird. Hold on, let me mute you guys here. Yeah, Zoom is really weird today. Okay, so update number one, I want to talk to you guys about, so Facebook is cutting off data to third party accessing, okay, third party targeting. So for example, there were some companies out there that allowed you to use data for Facebook ads. Hold on a second as well. I got to close everything. Everyone's trying to hit me up. Okay, so Facebook's trying to use data. There's companies out there that will allow you to use data to target specific audiences. Okay, so for example, if you were to buy, this is no longer allowed. Okay, so if you were to buy, let's say, an email list from a company that sells pharmaceutical products, or a company that sells bicycles, whatever it is. If you were to buy that email list and you were to put it into your Facebook ad account, that's no longer allowed. So they're really cracking down on that, on custom audiences and things like that. So update number two. Hold on, why is it? Okay, I need you guys to be on mute for a second. I don't know why it's unmuting you. Update number two is that if you're doing ads if you have an agency, how many of you guys have an agency? Like you're running an actual Facebook ad agency, or you're running Facebook ads for other people. Put a 3 in the box if you're doing any of that. If you're running an agency, if you're doing ads for other people. Okay, so number 3. Okay, so Sardar, okay, good. So here's for you guys that are running an agency and running ads for other people. This is very important. Now here's what's mentioned. Okay. And a lot of this stuff I got from like the Facebook news and things like that. You or partners acting on your behalf may not place pixels associated with your business manager or ad account on websites that you do not own without our written permission. So if you don't have any written permission on, let's say, an advertiser, so if you're running ads for someone, you have to have them write something for you that allows you to run your pixels on their website. Okay, so let's say you're running a Facebook ads, and let's say it's your aunt. Okay, let's say it's your mom. Let's say it's your father, whatever, a family member, right? Your brother, your sister. They have to write down on paper that that they're allowing you to put pixels onto their website. Okay, so that's a new thing with Facebook. So you're basically responsible for the data that's being collected on your Facebook Ads Manager on behalf of whoever you're running ads for. About to do that, if we create the fan page for them and we do the Facebook ads, so the same exact thing. If you do not own the website, if you do not own their website and you're doing the ads for them, you have to get written permission to have them, somewhere on a piece of paper or something like that, that you are allowing your pixels to be placed on their website or their pixels or something like that. Okay. So it's always good practice. I mean, like some of these things, I mean, who's going to go out there and monitor and police this? It's more than likely, not a lot. And more than likely, you might even just get like a cease and desist from Facebook or something like that. But Facebook has been really cracking down lately because of this scandal, right? And it's not, here's the thing, it's not really like, I feel like it's not really a huge issue with, I mean, the scandal is a big issue, but in terms of what they use the data for. But basically what happened there is that this is what happens. Facebook, you guys have to understand this. Facebook is very, very big, right? You can target anyone on Facebook. You can target and change the minds of people on anyone on Facebook in terms of political stance, right? So the whole, how many of you guys know what this whole scandal was all about? Put a 1 in the box if you know what this is about. Put a 2 in the box if you don't know what it is all about, right? Let me see here. So Dennis says with written permission from the owner of the website from Facebook itself. No, from the owner of the website that you'd have to get that. If you're doing Facebook ads for someone else. But if you're not, then you're fine. You're completely fine. Don't worry about it. If you're doing it just for yourself, it's your own website, right? You would write yourself a letter, basically is what it's saying. Yes, John, you will need to get if they don't have any website but just a physical store shop, yes, you will, because you're still gathering pixels and data for that person. Okay, whoever's buying products from them, you still have to have that permission from them, and this is the whole reason why we have this new, these new updates on Facebook. Okay, so a lot of you guys, some of it is confusing. For me, honestly, it's a little bit confusing as well. But from what I understand, is that there's this guy. He grabbed like 89 million people from Facebook, and during the election, okay, the Trump and the Hillary election, basically during that election, um, there were supposedly someone from Russia tapping into the U.S. or something like that and running ads in the U.S. to try to convince people who are going to vote for Hillary to vote for Trump instead. That was basically like what I understood. But because of that, because imagine you had 89 million people in the U.S. out of the 300, 400 million people, and you were able to convince just half of them to vote for the other party. That's going to be huge, right? So this was a huge thing that happened, and now the government's kind of stepping in and saying, hey, Facebook, what's happening here? What's going on? Here's the back. I mean, here's the thing about that. Um, anyone can grab Facebook data. Did you guys agree? Anyone can grab Facebook data. Anyone can build a bot or a scraper and go out there and grab data and get all this data, or even get data from advertisements. Like, let's say you contact someone who has 100,000 pixels, and you want to use that data to advertise your political party or whatever it is, right? Anyone can technically do that. What Facebook is doing is they're trying to crack down on it, and they're trying to minimize those things. So you, as my student, I want you guys to understand that if you're doing any of these things, you have to comply with Facebook's new targeting and new updates and things like that. Now, there's also a place that you can find all this news. It's on the Facebook newsroom. So it's called newsroom.fb.com/news, and you can find all that data here on what Facebook has been looking for, okay, and how you can be more compliant. Trent says, explains what everything they did well. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna have to go through this, and I mean, it was kind of a lot, right? I mean, I didn't have a lot of time the past few days, but it was kind of a lot. Okay, that's basically how they did it. But I'm looking for the breakdown of what happened yesterday, because there was like a 2-hour meeting, and I believe there's like more meetings after that as well. Okay. Yeah, Joe Zotto, Hassan, and John King. Okay, so now I admitted you. So it's weird. Like, you guys can't join automatically. So I have to admit you into the room first. So those of you guys that are just joining, we're talking about the new Facebook updates and the news that's going on. Okay. So update number 3. Here's another one. So this one's a big one this is like for almost all of us. People who manage pages with large numbers of followers will need to be verified. Those who manage large pages that do not clear the process will no longer be able to post. This will make it much harder for people to administer a page using a fake account. Okay, so this is kind of a crazy story. I had a Facebook page, and I'm actually glad that they're doing this. Okay, because I had a Facebook page a long time ago. It was for wedding dresses, and there was over 500,000 people on that page. Can you guess what happened there? Tell me, like, this is a big disappointment. Who can guess what happened to that page? Let's see who can guess it. Here. Okay, I'm gonna add some more people on here. Zoom is letting me, click admit first before you guys join. So what happened on that page? I lost the page. 500,000 people. And I lost it to a hacker. Can you guys believe this? Like, someone hacked it, and they transferred the page to another account. I saw the account. I knew whose account it was, and then they automatically switched it over to admin, and then they removed me from admin. And it's usually, you'd have like a 2-week period before you can actually do any changes like that. But for some reason, they were able to do that, and so I lost the friggin' page. It was 500,000 followers in a wedding niche. And I was devastated. It was crazy. But now Facebook is cracking down on that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you. I'm not pretty sure. You guys have not experienced something like that. But you know, in this digital world, it's kind of crazy that it can happen like that. But now it's gotten a lot more strict. Now it's like you transfer a page to someone. Now you have 2 weeks before they can switch it up and you know, change it up on you and you know, hack your page and things like that. But you don't have to worry about that now. But basically, with this one right here, is that if you have a large number of followers, sometimes it doesn't really say how many followers, but if you have a large number of followers, you have to be verified first before you can even post or anything like that. So I'm kind of glad that they did this. It's more secure now, and it's a lot better for all of us. Okay, so that's the third update. So Dennis has got it shut down. Yeah, so it wasn't shut down. It was actually stolen. It was hacked, right? That kind of sucked though, but it's fine. It's fine. That was a lesson learned from a long time ago. I was able to build out more pages at the end of the day, right? Peter says, what does it mean to be verified, the blue verified icon? So I'm not really 100% sure on this. They just roll this out. So we're going to have to see. I didn't even test this out yet because I didn't add anyone to any of my pages yet. But if you're trying to add someone to your page with a large number of followers, they're going to have to be verified somehow. From my understanding is I've also heard that they have to get verified through like snail mail. So they have to be sent mail to their house or something. And then they have to put in a code and then they're going to get verified that way. That's kind of like how Google does it nowadays. All right. So, all right, guys, who's got any questions so far? I hope you guys are not too scared about this. Here's the thing. Facebook has been updating their stuff since like 2000 and from what I remember when I first started doing this since like 2009-ish, right? They've been updating all their stuff on how advertisers are able to advertise and things like that. But sometimes it's also for the better, okay? So this kind of shakes off a lot of the shady advertisers out there who are kind of just gaming the system versus us who are trying to do this legitimately, build a actual business by using Facebook ads, okay? Peter says, well, I know what it means. I think nowadays you can't add people by name, just by email. So yeah, basically before it was through email, but I think to add people is always through email. Like I've always added people just through email. Okay, some reason it's not letting me add him. Okay, there it is. All right, cool. All right, any questions so far, guys, on this, on the updates, anything like that? Is this confusing? Is it, you guys understanding? Put a 2 in the box if confusing. Put a 3 in the box if you understand it. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so Artemius says confusing. Carmen, confusing. Yeah, I understand it is confusing, guys. But you know, eventually you'll understand it over time as Facebook progresses. I mean, this is just day one of, you know, Mark Zuckerberg being in Congress and talking about these things. Okay. All right. So Q&A. Let's go through Q&A. Let's go through some Q&A. Any questions that you guys have this week, I will help you answer them and help you go through and help you with your Facebook ads. Okay. So I also want to go through a strategy that I want to show you here in a second, where you can launch hundreds and thousands, literally like hundreds and thousands of different ad sets and launch them at small budgets and get really good results. Peter says, and yesterday was about what? They want to shut down Facebook? No. So they're not shutting down Facebook. They're just improving it. They're making it more secure. They're making it better, basically. They do this almost every year, right? I mean, last year, the biggest thing that I can remember from last year, or I think it was like 2 years ago, was that they had this whole thing about people getting data from scraped IDs and things like that. So now they removed it. It was basically where you can scrape the ID of someone on Facebook and target them on your custom audiences. So they removed targeting by ID. Before, it was so cool because you were able to go into like a Facebook group and people who liked, let's say, you know, giraffes, and you were able to scrape everyone who commented and get their IDs. And then you can target those people. Let's say you scraped up, you know, 15,000 people who commented the past year, and these are people who are engaging. You can take that list and put them into a custom audience and create lookalikes. Okay. Back then, people were like, this is the best thing ever because these are all highly qualified buyers, those 15,000 people, let's say. And then you put them through a lookalike audience and they're like even better, right? You get now 2 million of those people. Now it's harder. You guys don't think that it's harder, but it is a little bit harder. Because of how you gather the data and put them into lookalikes. So nothing here has changed from any of the things that I've taught you guys in terms of launching ads, scaling your ads, and things like that. What has changed is the data that you're getting. Okay, so like if you're creating custom audiences, most of you guys don't have this problem of using third-party targeting. There are companies out there that sell the data. Like let's say you're selling this pen, and you're going out there and you find a company that that sells pens, and they have a list of, over the past 10 years, they have a list of over 100,000 buyers. You take that list, you buy that list from them, and now you can sell them your highly exclusive pen that you're selling, right? So something like that you can't do anymore. um, I haven't really taught that much. I kind of taught it in like the earlier sessions, where I kind of hinted at you guys to, you can go out there and you can find data and use that as your custom audience, for example. Now it's a little bit harder to do that. Now they're really breaking down and targeting those people who are doing that, and you don't want to be doing this anymore. So you want to just be collecting the data through your interest, the regular interest that you're launching, and using those for your custom audiences and your lookalikes. That's perfectly fine. You're perfectly okay with that. This is for those that are kind of doing this above and beyond what we're doing right now. Okay, in terms of data. Um, Dougie says, "Burn it down, bring back MySpace." As a matter of fact, here's the thing, guys. Even if let's say theoretically, in 5 years, in 10 years, Facebook goes down and people stop using Facebook, which is kind of like ridiculous to even think about, right? There's always going to be another network that comes out that steps in its place. For example, there's Instagram right now. There's Google. There's other shopping networks. Okay, there's Pinterest. There's all these different networks that you can use similar to Facebook. So there's never ever going to be a shortage of traffic. Like one of my mentors, Grant Cardone, says, "There's never ever a shortage of money out there. There's always money to be made." Okay, so no matter where you go, don't think small, think big, think even bigger than that. Like I had a student, I mean, even like I was talking to Jimmy, he's at 5K a day. I was talking to him like 2K, 5K a day sometimes. I was talking to him and he was like, wow, like Evan did 22K, in a single day. He was like, I didn't even think that was possible, for someone to do even 22K, even like 30K in a single day. But it's definitely possible. My biggest day in e-commerce was $78,000, right? It's definitely possible to be able to hit those numbers. It's not like once you hit 5K a day, it's impossible. Like another student, Linda, I was talking to her last night, and she was at $200 a day, right? If you're doing $200 a day consistently for the next 7 days or 14 days, and every single day was $200 a day, don't you think that if you're to take $200 a day and then you're going to make $200 the next day, don't you think that with the same amount of traffic, you can turn that traffic and increase the traffic and make $400 a day? Of course you can, right? It's basically just scaling at that stage. That's the reason how a student like Evan was able to go from $400 a day to $22,000 a day, because he saw the window of opportunity. He saw that there was data there, and he scaled it. Now I'm going to show you guys today that window of opportunity, where you can find those windows of opportunity to scale. And I'm going to show you guys one of these ad accounts, here. This is an ad account that this was like, I remember I showed you guys the website, the store that I created about 2 weeks ago. And I created this just for fun. And this store was basically, hold on. This store was basically automated. Like I didn't do any of the ads. You guys remember that? How many of you guys remember that? Let me do a screen capture here. Okay, so today's sales are just getting started, but that store right now is averaging about, yeah, John remembers it, right? So that store right now is doing about roughly like 200, $300 per day. Okay, and I had a day where it made almost like $1,000. But on average, and this is a store that I just created, and I didn't do any of the ads here. Yeah, John remembers that, right? So this is a store I just created, and I didn't do any of the ads for that. and it's at this point right here. All right. How many of you guys want to learn how to do that? How many of you guys are not at that stage yet, and you want to learn how to just create a brand new store and do this? Put a 3 in the box if you want to learn how to do that, right? Yeah, look, so all these threes coming in. We have Honopi, John, Francie, Tito, Hassan. I'm hungry, all right? Joseph, Carmen, Dennis, Alyssa, Janelle, Artemio, Sardar, Andy. So this is what I did, okay? And how much was this ad spend? So the ad spend was a little bit crazy here, but I expected this because I knew this was going to happen. So the ad spend here was $3,600 for this one here. Let me just make sure it's correct. Yeah, so this one here. So the ad spend was $3,600 to make $4,300, but it's still not at that stage of fully scaling, right? So this is what's going to happen. And I teach this, and I've taught you guys this multiple times, and I've created this. This isn't the only story that I've done this with, but it's always happened. So you're in the beginning stages, you're like kind of like, actually, it's kind of like this, right? And this is like, you guys probably remember this. In the beginning stages are kind of like this, and your ad spend is like the same. It's like up and down as well, right? And all of a sudden, once you start to scale, some of you have done this. Some of you have gone like this. This is an Evan right here. This is an Evan. This is definitely an Evan. Some of you are like this. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And then it was like this, right? Some of you are like that. Now this isn't unusual. This usually happens when you find the data, and when you find an opportunity, a big window of opportunity, then you can do something like this. But usually I like to take it kind of like this, right? Kind of like that. You can do this. I've had stores that I've done this, and I've shown you guys this, right? From $200 a day to $2,000 a day consistently on one of my previous sessions. I think it's like session 30 or something, where I've done something like this. But most of the time, depending on the product, you might see a gradual increase like this. And let's say this right here, this line is your ad spend, okay? So your ad spend stay the same. Actually, it's more like this. It's more like this, like that, right? Your ad spend stays the same, but some days you have good days, some days you have bad days, and all of a sudden you start seeing that window opportunity, and then you scale it out. Okay, so here's what I'm showing you here with this ad account. Now I'm okay with showing you this because I'm just doing this one for testing. So here's what happened here. I mean, like, what I did was I launched multiple products, and not just multiple products. You can see here, I launched 71 products, right? And these are all at small budgets, like $10, or sorry, $2 a day, $3 a day ad sets. So very, very small budgets. Let me see here. Is the pixel ready? No, it's not ready at all. Okay. So usually what I've seen is that you have to have at least 20 to 50 sales to be able to do anything within just a certain product or a certain campaign or anything like that, or ad set actually, right? So what I do is I look at this, when to scale, okay? So question you should ask yourself is, number one, does it have at least 20 sales in the ad set, okay? Question number two, does it have at least 20 sales? Like I would say anywhere between 20 to 50 is reasonable. 20 to 50 sales in the campaign. Number three, well, these are the two biggest questions that I ask myself. Does it have at least 20 sales in the ad set? And how long did it take? Okay, if it took you, for example, if it took you like, 1 to 2 months, maybe not even scalable, okay? Because it might be even like, it might be a lucky product, okay? If it took you 1 to 2 weeks, definitely grounds for scaling. Okay, so do you guys understand now? Like, when to scale? I get this question a lot, and some of you guys are like, when do I scale? Hold on, let me just mute some of you guys. Okay, let me admit some of you guys on here. And yeah, Zoom is weird. Like if you guys leave the room and then you try to come back, like, and I don't see it, I can't admit you. Like I have to physically like admit every single one of you. Okay, so how many of you guys are at this stage right here? Put a 1 in the box if you guys are at this stage. Like you don't have 20 sales in the ad set yet, but you're trying to scale. And I'll explain how to do this. Or if you, put a 1 in the box if you're at this stage, put a 2 in the box if you're at this stage, right? If you have at least 20, 50 sales in the campaign. And this can be for anyone. This could be for those of you who are starting new products and you're ready at, let's say you're at the $1,000, $2,000 a day, but you're starting a new product and you want to know how to scale it. Or you don't have a product that's scalable yet and you're at this stage right here. Okay, so yeah, some of you guys are at the 2, some of you guys are at the 1. Okay, good. So when you're over here and you don't have 20 sales in the ad set, what do you have to do? You have to wait, okay? You got to wait right here if it's going to get those 20 sales. If it takes you 1 to 2 months, then it's maybe not even scalable. It's kind of questionable. But if it takes you 1 to 2 weeks to get 20 sales, then definitely grounds for scalable. That's usually what I've seen. And you remember how I told you guys Facebook ads is kind of like a 1-year chef and a 10-year chef? There's never a right or wrong answer to doing things. It's just getting that and knowing when to scale and the opportunity there to scale. Sometimes you have stores that work really well during the summer. Sometimes you have stores that work really well during the winter. Sometimes you have stores that scale really, really fast and get data really, really quickly. This is the thing with Facebook ads. It's not like Google. Okay, with Google, it's more of a it's also more of a cutthroat business in Google because you have a lot of competition that can outbid you and see what you're bidding on. With Facebook, it's kind of levels the playing field for everyone. But if you don't understand how to work the system, it's not going to work very well. Okay, so usually if you don't have at least 20 sales in the ad set, which means if we go back here, let me pull this notepad closer to this. If we don't have any 20 sales in the ad set, for example, we have here this one right here. Let me just pull this up. Of course, I'm not going to show you guys my interests. Let me see here. All right, there it is. Okay, and then let's go for ROAS. Okay. So we have here. You see this? I mean, like, there's this one sale. I mean, like, this was like my best ROAS, right? Spend 30 cents to make $62. Spend $2 to make 107, right? Spend $2 to make 57. Now, if we were to do that every single day, every single time, how crazy would that be? Spend $15 to make $100, right? How many of you guys how many of you guys have actually seen ROAS like this? Put a 2 in the box. Put a 1 in the box if you guys want to see ROAS like this. Yeah, of course, Peter has seen ROAS like this. You do this all the time. Peter's like, spend $200, make like 5,000, right? Or something like that. John says, with reference number 1, what is the daily budget, total budget to get 20 sales? Good question. So I'm going to go exactly to that right there, John. Trent asks, when I do large interest scaling, I usually take winning ad sets and move to a new campaign. No, that's perfect. That's not bad at all, Trent. I teach that as well. But I'll teach you exactly when to do that. Okay, there's a specific time to do that. Okay, so a lot of you guys have seen ROAS like this, and a lot of you guys want to get ROAS like this. So I'm going to show you guys a technique today on how to get things like this using an app called Quaya. Okay. Now, in terms of something like this, we go into the ad set and we only see like one sale, right? But it's like within specific like ad sets here. So for example, we have $9.6 spent, made $57. We have 30 cents to make 62. Now, these look really great, but if the purchases are not matching up, okay, if the purchases don't add up to like 20, or if it's not a lot, then I would not scale that. I would not scale it at all. What I would do is I would wait until this thing hits at least 20 sales. If it doesn't hit 20 sales within the first 2 weeks, then it's not ground for scaling. Now, how can you even hit 20 sales at such a small budget? This is what you do. You go and you create yourself a rule. Okay, so when you click on this, you create the rule, and then the rule, you go to, instead of one ad set, what I do is all active ad sets. Okay, if all active ad sets, the cost per result is less than $15, then I'm going to go ahead and increase the budgets. Okay, the action here is to adjust the budget by 15%. So no more than 15%. Francie says, what if 20 sales from the same ad sets but duplicated to a new campaign? Is it scalable? Yes, you can definitely do that. So what you do is, let's say you get 20 ad sets from here. There's 2 ways of doing this. You can duplicate that ad set, into the same campaign. Or you can take that same ad set and create a new campaign, which typically works a lot better in terms of scaling. But usually within that campaign, I'm more aggressive on it. So I don't do like a $20 budget or a $3 budget. I do a $100 budget on it. Okay, so for example, theoretically, let's go first. Let's go theoretically. Let's say we have this one ad set right here, and this one here brought in 20 sales consistently over the course of 1 to 2 weeks. If it's like 1 to 2 months, that's a little bit too long. It might be even like kind of a lucky streak, but you can still test it. Well, let's say 1 to 2 weeks, I get 20 sales, okay, at a $3 budget or a $5 budget, whatever it is. Now, when that happens, I take that exact ad set and create a new campaign, brand new campaign. With that brand new campaign, I break down the demographics, age and gender, and placement and device, and see which one's best. And then I do a little bit more of aggressive strategy. So the aggressive strategy would be basically, number one, you can do a few things. Number one, create new campaign with $100 budget and broken down ad set. Okay, so this, you can do it this way. Or number two, you can create $50 campaigns, or one campaign with multiple ad sets at $50 each. Okay, so for example, the $50 would be split. So $50 for Android phones, okay, $50 for iPhone, and then even like $50 for desktop. Okay, and then you can also do $50 for certain age ranges, like age range. You could do $50 for, let's say, 35 to 45, oops, 34 to 45, and then you can do, you know, $50 for 44 to 55, okay, something like that. So you can do different age ranges. Okay, so both of them work just as well. This one here, you have more chances of winning once you find those within 3 days. Once you find out, like, let's say $50 for Android phones worked better, or $50 for iPhone works a lot better, you'll find better chances on that. Okay, so sometimes over here, this is kind of like the painstaking point of just the waiting process. A lot of us are in that painstaking point of just waiting, right? But once you get to that stage of scalability, and you don't have to wait anymore, then you can go out there and you can do something like this. And then if this works, then what you do is you go to the $1,000 a day budgets. Okay, how many of you guys know what the $1,000 day budget is? Put a 3 in the box if you guys know that. Put a 4 in the box if you guys have actually used the $1,000 per day ad sets. Okay, so a lot of you guys. Oh, George is trying to get in. Okay, here it is. Yeah, so if you guys leave the room and then trying to come back, I have to readmit you by clicking on your link. So just try not to leave. All right, let's see here. Francie says, okay, we answer that. But what if the data is clear? Let's say only 8 sales, but age range is 25, 34. Still, I would still wait until you have at least 20 sales. 20 sales is kind of like a safe number. The more, the better. Like if you had 50 sales, even better, right? Hassan says those ads doesn't compete with each other in different campaigns. So if you have so here's a few ways it'll compete with each other, and here's a few ways that it won't. If you have like big reach, if you have a reach of like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, it's not going to affect it as much as if you had a reach of, let's say, 10,000 people. Then obviously it's going to affect it greatly, right? It's going to be audience overlap. But overall, within 3 days, you're going to be shutting these off anyway, right? You're going to be shutting this one off, this one off, this one off, for example, and keeping this one. But this one here, this one's more of like an aggressive strategy with less control. This one here, you have a lot more control. Well, obviously you're spending a lot more than $100 as well, but you have a lot more control. And this is after you get at least 20 sales from your $3 to $5 per ad set budget. Okay, so this is what happens here. A lot of it is just waiting. It's like the waiting game. You know, we don't want to wait, but sometimes that's what we have to do. Do you guys have any questions about the rule, how to create the rule? Okay, so let's create the rule for this one here. For example, all active ad sets, meaning all active ad sets throughout my entire ad manager here. Okay, if the lifetime impression. So another thing about lifetime impression that you guys need to know. Here's a good tip. Here's a kind of like an advanced strategy, right? Here's an advanced strategy of the day. So within the first 5,000 to 8,000 impressions on a new ad, want to look for negative feedback. Okay. Oh, someone is trying to get in. Okay. So you want to try to look for negative feedback. Okay. So within the first 5,000 to 8,000 impressions on a new ad, you want to look for negative feedback. How many of you guys actually know about this? Put a 3 in the box if you didn't know about this. Let me see how many of you guys know about this. Put a 2 if you knew about this. Okay, John says $1,000 budget. So I'll get to that after this one right here. Okay. Facebook has a bug mentioned. Why is this? I'm not sure. I tested $100 US budget and $20. Some of them will spend 20 minutes. I'm not sure about that. Let's talk about that here in a second. Okay, so some of you guys know about this, some of you don't. So this is what happens here. All right. So if you have within the first 5,000 to 8,000 impressions, this is also a reason why Facebook, when you go into doing the rules, Facebook says you need to have at least 8,000 impressions, because usually within the first 5,000, I say 5,000, because usually that's the most crucial time when Facebook will judge your ad. Yes, they will judge your ad based on what happens in your ad. So if your ad is showing up and it has like a lot of negative feedback within the first 5,000 impression, what you want to do is you want to remove that ad and redo the ad. Because if you keep going and you have that another 5,000 impression, your ad will not perform as well in the whole algorithm scheme of things. Facebook will start sending you less quality traffic, versus if you had right off the bat 5,000 impressions and everyone loved your product and everyone was doing those hearts or smiley faces, the likes, and no one was doing any negative feedback for your store, then you're gonna have a better time. Okay. So how many of you guys actually did not know about this step right here, about the 5,000 impression? Put a 5 in the box if you didn't know about this. Yeah, so not a lot of you, right? So this is kind of a strategy that you have to look for in terms of, this is kind of like also why Dennis says, can you duplicate? Yes, you can. You can, what you do is you duplicate the same exact ad in your, let's say you have a Facebook page, you go and you duplicate that ad, you take the ad copy and you take the image and everything else, you create a new ad, a new post, let's say, and you run another 5,000 impressions. And you click on the impressions again, you look at what that page post has done. If after 5,000 impressions and you have 0 negative comments, but let's say you have a lot of likes, a lot of shares, and things like that, Facebook is going to give you a higher quality score. And when you keep launching new ad sets, those ad sets will perform a lot better. Okay. Now let's say you get negative comments and you're constantly getting negative feedback, but it's a hot product. Okay. 1 or 2 things can happen. Number 1 is that your product is probably no good, but let's say it's a hot product. Number 2, you're targeting the wrong people. Okay. You can't hear me. How about now? Can you guys hear me okay? Put a 2 in the box if you guys can hear me. Okay, John says yes. Okay, good. So it looks like everyone can hear me. All right. Okay, good. So like it says 2. So basically, this is what happens here. So you guys are understanding this so far? Do you guys need me to explain a little bit more about how this works? This is an advanced strategy that, most of the time within 5,000 impressions, usually we don't really look at that, right? But usually within the first 5,000 impressions is where your quality score will end up giving you the biggest impact, is that time frame right there. And let's say you're getting a lot of negative feedback and you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know why. This is kind of a tedious way of doing this. Let's see here. Okay, awesome. We'll do, Sardar. Let's say this is a very tedious way of doing this, but basically what happens is that you have to go into, let's say you have all those people that liked, those people that comment, those people that shared. You have to open up their Facebook profile. Yes, it's a little tedious. You have to open up their Facebook profile and literally sit down with like a notebook and kind of make a Venn diagram and see where everyone is kind of like matching up to, right? If what type of things do they like? Do they like certain types of music? Are they certain types of people? And this goes back into the empathy map, guys. Like everything we're doing here goes all the way back into the empathy map, right? What your customer avatar is, what type of people they are, what they like, what they don't like, okay, what they are looking for. And then usually if you switch up your targeting, this is a good example of this is this guy. He was targeting video games, right? And it was a video game app, like a very simple app on your iPhone. And the app was like a brainless app, like mindless app. You just keep clicking, and then something happens, right? So, but he was targeting high-end gamers. He was targeting like, people who play chess. He was targeting people who play Counter-Strike was a big one. He was targeting people who play World of Warcraft. Okay, these are high-level thinkers. And when they see a game that is like very, very simple and mindless, they will put negative comments on there. They would report the ad. They're like, why am I seeing this? Okay, I'm a high-level chess player. Why am I seeing this simple game? And so within the first 5,000 impressions, he received all these negative ads, and he knew that it was a good product. He was able to scale to the point where it was making, a few $1,000s a day. But then he came to the point where it's like, okay, it stopped for some reason when I created this new ad. Why? And that was because within the first 5,000 to 8,000 impressions, there was a lot of negativity in there. And so by removing the negative targeting, he was able to get better CPA and get better results because the quality score was way up there versus when people were just hating on the ad. Okay, so this is the advanced strategy of the day, guys. Okay, like I said, you're gonna learn something new every single webinar. So this is the advanced strategy for today. The key takeaway for today. Okay, 5,000 to 8,000 impressions. Looks for negative feedback. Yeah, Trent's like, gamers are angry people. I know, Trent. Just imagine playing, League of Legends. That'll make you angry. Trent says, I got my first ad account banned trying to promote desktop game affiliate offer. So yeah, you probably got it banned maybe for a few reasons. Maybe it wasn't allowed on Facebook, or maybe just people had hated on it. Like it was just so much negativity on there. You don't want those things. Okay. So guys, remember, if you didn't learn anything today, this is the biggest thing for you today. If you didn't learn anything about the Facebook news and things like that, 5,000 to 8,000 impressions, make sure that you're turning off the ads if they're getting negative feedback. Okay. Make sense, guys? All right, let me see if I can pull up something and show you how that works. Dougie says, I had the same thing. Trent says, yeah, I know, it was a fresh account and negative feedback. Exactly. So that's what's going to happen. Usually if Facebook sees that you have a lot of stuff and it's all negative stuff, they're going to end up, banning it. Let me see if I can find something here. Let me just pull something up real quick, guys. So Peter says, so we need to check the negative feedback metric, usually within the first 5,000 to 8,000 impressions. Yes. Atelier says, what if no negative feedback, but ad sets stop working suddenly? So there's a few reasons on that, and it could be deliverability issues. Deliverability issues, you want to take a look at your targeting. You want to take a look at your ad, if it's approved on Facebook. If not, then you're going to have a hard time. Let me see if I can actually, no, that's fine. I won't look for it, but you guys know how to find this, right? How to find the 5,000, 8,000 impressions. So if you're on your Facebook page, or you just go here, you just go to Ads Manager, okay? And let me pause this for a second. You go to Ads, and then you go to Page Post, and that's when you can find all of the metrics on your pages. And within the first 5,000, remember 5,000 impressions. Don't let it go to 8,000. Go to 5,000, and then check if there's any negativity. And that most likely that will be the issue of why you know, your ads are not performing versus your competitors. They're performing very, very well. Okay. Okay, let me see. Any other questions so far? Oh, Hassan says how to check negative feedback. I hope you got that, Hassan. So just go here and then go to page posts. Okay, and then you're going to find all of the negative feedback. John says, awesome tips for today on the impression. And can you scroll up to my question? Can you repaste the question here? I'm not seeing your question here. All right. So any other questions so far, guys, in terms of this? Okay, so how you create the rule is you do this. You click create rule, and you can do a rule for a specific ad set, like this one, I said one ad set, or you can do it for all the campaigns, all the active ad sets. So if the ad sets, usually what I go is I go over here and I go per purchase, website conversions. Now, if the ad set, the purchase pixel, not purchase pixel, conversion, cost per conversion, where is this here? Cost per purchase. If the cost per purchase is less than, let's say I put a metric on there, less than $15, okay, then what I would do is I would increase the daily budget by 15%. And this goes into the effect of, like, you know, 1 month, 2 months, 1 week, 2 weeks, in terms of getting those 20 sales. This goes into that effect. Okay, so increase the daily budget by 15% and at a daily cap of, let's say, you know, $300 daily per day in ad spend. Some of my best scaling ad sets have been this. Now, once this scaled, I took it into the $1,000. I went really aggressive and I took it into the $1,000 per day ad set. Okay, and then you can name this rule. You know, all active ad sets, increase it by 50%, $300 if less than $15 CPA. Okay, not too confusing, guys. You guys are getting it? Put a 5 in the box if you guys are getting it so far. Just want to make sure you guys are getting this. Okay, cool. We have Atilia, Trent, Alyssa, great. And then you said, okay, John, the $1,000 a day budget. So I'll explain that after. Let's go over this first. I want to go over all of this, and then I'll slowly get into that $1,000 a day budget. Okay, understanding this part right here. Okay, good. So all of these ad sets here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wait until these have at least 20 sales. Now, let me go over to Quaya. Let me show you guys a really cool technique to launching massive amounts of ad sets. Okay. Oops. Quaya.coms. I can't adult today. All right. Let's go log in. And also, guys, the reason why we're having this today is because tomorrow I'll be gone for a business conference where I'll be speaking in stage for 3 days. So I won't be around. Okay, and then select ad account. Oh, you know what? I kind of don't want to show you guys this ad account. Let me see here. Okay, I'll just do this test on one of my pages here. One of my test pages. Actually, let's do the fishing store one. Let's go do the fishing store. Okay, there it is. Okay. All right, cool. So this is an app called Quaya. Yes, Atilia. So each of them has at least 3 sales, or 20 sales. Sorry. Okay, cool. All right. So this is the. I want to show you guys this technique. So I want to show you guys 2 things today. So today, you know, you guys had the advanced little tidbit there of the 5,000 impressions. Now today I want to show you guys Quaya again. I kind of showed you guys this. How many of you guys remember Quaya from my previous webinar? Put a 3 in the box if you guys remember this. Otherwise, I'm going to go over this again. Okay, yeah. So a few of you. Okay, so let's do this. So in Quaya, this allows you to create multiple ad sets very quickly, like boom, like 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what we're gonna do here is I want to show you. Let's say theoretically this is our ad. Okay. And then we're going to go for mobile first and mobile newsfeed on Wi-Fi only, and we're going for page conversions, okay, website conversions. So let's say we go ahead and create this. Now we go and we set the targeting, okay? So the first step is we have the ad is set up. We go and set up the targeting. Let me just remove my previous targeting here. Okay. And this strategy here is mainly for retail product, but you can also do this for free plus shipping product as well. Okay. So we go to new targeting. So let's click on new targeting, and basically this is the targeting here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go for location. So we go for United States. Okay. And let's say this is a product that you can sell outside the US. Let's go for Australia. Okay. And then let's also go for Canada. And then let's also go for United Kingdom. All right. So what's going to happen here is going to ask you if you want to split it or not. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to split it. So this way we have 4 segments. Okay. We're not targeting people who are in the US, Australia, Canada, and the UK all at the same time. We're going to split them up. Okay. And let's say we do our targeting here, and let's say it's 35 to 45 males who are buying our products. Okay. We can also split this based on specific ages. Okay. So if we click split, we can split this by every year. That means we're going to target people who are 35-year-olds, 36-year-olds, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 45. But this is like very, very, you have to be like very meticulous to be able to do this. And you have to be like targeting like one thing at a time or 2 things at a time, because you can only do up to 200 segments at a time on Quaya. It's kind of dumb, I know. I wish you could do like 2,000 segments, at a time. But they only allow up to 200 because of what their software can do. Okay, so let's say you have a segment, and let's say we don't split it. Now what we can do is we can go ahead, target 35, 45 within these countries. Okay, we have 4 different segments, and then let's go ahead and do the detailed targeting. So the detailed targeting here would be, let's start with like fishing. Okay, so we have fishing. Now here's the crazy part. One thing also to take into account, if you're doing multiple countries, you want to make sure not to include the small reaches, okay, like 3,000, 2,000, 28,000, because those people here, it's going to end up with an error when you try to publish your ads. You want to understand it now. When you do end up doing that, you're going to understand why. And then you're going to come back to me and say, hey, Teo, I tried this, and all of a sudden it gave me an error, and I'm not allowed to publish, and I have like 200 segments here, and I don't know why. This is because you're targeting low reach. You have to target very broad when you're targeting UK, Australia, Canada, because, for example, in the UK, it's a smaller country. There's not a lot of people, so the number here will be bogged down a lot. Sometimes it goes down to even like 100, and Facebook will not allow you to target that because it's so small. So this is why you have to go big. Okay, so you click on the biggest ones here, and ones with like over 500,000, for example, over 100,000. Okay, and you choose the interest that you want to target. And so let's say you go over and you target like all these people here. Some of you guys might take what I'm going to say today and take it very seriously and make a lot of money with this. So just pay very close attention to what I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so you click suggestions, and what you do is, for example, we have all these different suggestions, right? Imagine going into your ad set. How many of you guys spend a lot of time in your ads manager? Put a 1 in the box if you spend a lot of time in your ads manager, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys spend a lot of time on there. Yeah, we have here we have Atilia, Hassan, Dennis, Trent, Jimmy, Alyssa, Tito, Janelle, Honapa, Dougie, Francie, right? Yeah, Dougie's like 111 111. All right, so this will save you a lot of time in your ad account, because you're doing all of this by like times 200 instead of going in here and duplicating each ad set, 10 at a time or 20 at a time. This is if you want to go, if you really want to go big or go home. And I would not recommend this on new products. Okay, can you guys repeat that? I will not do this for new products. I will not do this for products I do not know if it's making sales. This is only for products that you feel like you can scale. Okay, put a 1 in the box if you guys agree. You will not do this for new products. and new products that you don't know. Put a one in the box for me if you guys agree with me. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Alyssa says one. I do not want you guys losing money. Okay, I don't want you to go out there and blame me like, oh, Teo told me to do like 500 ad sets and I did them and I lost like $1,000. I don't want you to do that. Okay, this is your fair warning. Do not do this for new products. Only do this for products that you know you've made sales. Okay, a lot of you guys are going to take this advice today and you're going to make a lot of sales with this. This is only for products that, let's say, how many sales you ask me? Maybe like for me, if I like to go a little bit aggressive, maybe 5 to 10 sales. If I have 5 to 10 sales on this, I'll go aggressive. Okay, this is how I was able to do this. Okay, let's see that screenshot again. This is how I was able to do this. Okay. Now, of course, I didn't do any of the ads here. The only ad that I did was the Quaya ads. I didn't set up any of the ads. Like I didn't set up any of the product ads. I actually just wrote the ad copy, but I did not do the whole setup process. I did not do like the 10 ad sets, my formula type of thing. I didn't do any of that. I just did the scaling part. Okay. So, okay, a lot of you guys agree. Good. I agree. I agree. Good. Jimmy says Facebook has been auto-selecting marketplace placements when duplicating ad set. Anyone experiencing this? So the marketplace is a new thing. It might be also a bug because nowadays when you duplicate the ad set, it's going to go back and duplicate all the same settings that you had before. So if you had mobile only, it will go mobile only to all of your ad sets. If you had mobile and desktop, it would go mobile desktop to all the duplicated ad sets. So it might have been a bug that they're still trying to fix because they just implemented the new marketplace, the new marketplace thing. Yeah, and then Dougie says they've been doing that for me for suggested videos. So it might be a bug. So be sure to check your ad sets before running them. In this case here, we can check all of it. It's all like checked for us, so we don't have to go in. Like we can do mobile only, we can do Android. It's all done for us, so we don't have to go in there and check individually each ad set. This saves us a lot of time. You guys don't know how many hours this has saved me in terms of launching and scaling. Okay, this is like a huge time saver. George says, yes, it does that to me too, even if I didn't have the marketplace selected before the duplicate. Yeah, so it's probably a bug, guys. Honapa is saying, Facebook has been disapproving and approving my ads upon appeal. This has happened several times. So what if that ever happens to you? It happens to me all the time. What if that happens to you? It's probably they're questioning your product. If your product or your ad is kind of fishy, if you don't understand how to write the ad, go back to session 41 because they changed all of that. Okay, if you guys are still in like the first 10 sessions, first 20 sessions, you haven't watched session 41 yet, please watch that session because Facebook changed the whole ad algorithm. So you cannot say, 50% off or anything like that. You cannot say tag a friend. Okay, you cannot say, tag someone who would like this or something like that. You can't be very sales pitchy. They will remove that. So if you're doing any of that, Honapa, you have to see if that's the case. Okay. If that's not the case, then Jimmy says, I'm sold on Quay, huge time saver. But if that's not the case, then it might be your product that they're questioning. I have that in certain niches of mine where they question the product and it's very difficult to get an ad approved. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one, for example. We have phishing. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this. Now, let's say we have all these different interests here, right? And we don't have all the time in the world to do all of them individually in the ad set. In the asset level. So what we do is we just do this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And it's as simple as that. Boom, boom. And I'm not even like looking, I'm just like kind of targeting and I'll remove the ones that don't make sense, right? But all of them, don't you guys agree so far make sense? Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And if you're targeting the US only, exclusively, you can target the 19,000 people. But if you're not targeting the US, you're going to have a hard time getting those people to getting this ad approved, getting all this approved and published. Okay, so now we have all these interests here. Now you see how it only has 4 segments. What this is doing is it's targeting US, Australia, Canada, UK, and people who this is all grouped up together. What you want to do is you want to click the split button. Okay, now you have 108 segments. What that means is 108 ad sets. Okay, so it's going to create an ad set for people who in the US who like all of this. Okay, one ad set, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th ad set. People who are in Australia who like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. People who are in Canada who like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. People in UK that like all this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like I said, this small audience right here, don't do that. It's not going to get approved. Because let's say it's 88,000 in the US, but let's say it's like less than 100 in Australia, for example. Okay. When you go to publish queue, you're not going to be able to do that. And you're going to be wondering, why is this not working? Okay. Teo told me this. Now you know. Okay. So I told you because you have the reach here is so small, so you can't do that. This is only for the US. If you're targeting the US, that's fine. You can go ahead and target this. But if not, you got to remove it. Otherwise, it's not going to get approved. Okay. So only go for like the 100,000. Even this one's kind of sketchy because if people like go fishing in the US, but there's none in Australia, it's not going to go through. So all that hard work you did won't go through. Okay, hope you guys are understanding. All right, so it's not really a lot of hard work because it's just like clicking on stuff, right? It's not like you're doing a lot of hard stuff here. Okay, so we go here, 900,000, 2 million, 100,000. We go in here, we have here carp. Okay, carp is another one. Trout. Okay, I mean, look at all these different ad sets that we're targeting, and we're targeting like a freaking boss, right? We're going in here and we're just going boom, boom, boom. And like our competitors are spending hours and hours trying to do this on their ad level, on the Power Editor, even on the Power Editor. Now imagine before the Power Editor. Okay, do you guys remember the time before Power Editor? It was horrible. You'd have to do this individually and duplicate it over and over and over again for each one of them. Okay. So here we go. Boom, 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 boom. So now, and let's remove this one here. 26,000 people. Okay, so we have a healthy list here. And these are all people who like fish or fishing. Okay, now we have 168 segments, 168 different ad sets. Honapa says, you're pronouncing my name correct. All right, awesome. It sounds like Happy Hanukkah with a P. I love it. All right. It sounds Hawaiian. Okay, Honapa says, I'll check section 41. Perfect. Okay, so you guys are understanding this whole point here, this whole part. If you guys are planning on using Quaya, it's $149 a month. I do not own it. Someone else owns it. It's a third party, so use it at your discretion. But this tool right here will help save you a lot of time. And only use this tool. Remember, okay, I want you to put this, ingrain it in your mind. Remember, only use this tool for products that are winning. Don't use this tool for, I mean, you can technically use this tool for like duplicating ad sets and creating like 10, 20 different ad sets at a time very, very quickly. But I only use this tool for my winning products. Okay, products that I feel like is a winner and can potentially become a winner. I just need to scale. I just need to increase my reach in the market, and then I need to increase my traffic. So this is how I do it. Okay, so I go over here. I put in everything here. 168 different ad sets. Now you can also do custom audiences. You can exclude your buyers. Okay, people who already bought. You can exclude people who already added to cart. And things like that. You can also include people who are connected to like certain pages as well, if you want to really, really go down to the nitty gritty. But if you're targeting broad, which is what I would recommend in terms of scaling, is you do something like this. Okay, you can do the same thing for custom audiences, and let's say you're doing your lookalikes. You want to do all 10 lookalikes, or you want to do 1 to 10%, and then you want to do 2% to 5%, 2 to 6%, 2 to 7%. 3 to 6%, 3 to 5%, 3 to 8%, whatever it is. You want to put them all together, and you don't want to go into Power Editor and do all that to get all that. You can go in here and split all of your custom audiences. Okay, and then you can split your custom audiences. Of course, it's only based on a specific country, but you can split your custom audiences also based on age. So targeting based on age, if you want to really get down to the nitty gritty. And let's say we go and we split it every single year. That means we're targeting 36-year-olds. Okay, this is where it gets crazy. This is where we're targeting 36-year-olds in the U.S. who like fishing, a line. 36-year-old in the U.S. who like recreational fishing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All 36-year-olds. We go on to the next one, 37-year-olds, male, et cetera, et cetera. 38-year-olds, male, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So when we do this is what happens, right? If we split it based on 1 year, look at how many ad sets you have. You have 1,848 ad sets that you can test. Okay. And of course, within the first 3 days, usually in this instance, what I do is within the first 24 to 72 hours. And within the first 24, 72 hours, hold on, I'm not sure why people are just, I need to close the Slack here. So within the first 24, 72 hours, basically if you're getting no sales and you're getting no at the cart, so this is what I look for. If I don't get any at the carts, this is the reason why. If we go back here, you can see how many, 1,000, you guys see that? 1,079 different ad sets. So if I don't get any at the carts, I am very quick to shut them off. So I shut them off very, very quickly. Okay, no at the carts, I shut them off even before it hits like $1, $2 or something like that. Now you can do this for bigger budgets. You can let it run for like $3 and things like that. But if you have your data, this is kind of like my approach. If you have the data here, what you do is you take this data and then you use that for your new ad sets. So if you go in here and you find out that this interest is doing well, this interest is doing well, this interest did very, very well. It has lots of at the carts. This one has lots of at the carts. This one has lots at the carts as well. What I do is I do a stack. So I'll stack those interests in a new campaign with a bigger budget. Okay, with like a $20 budget, $50 budget, something like that. So I'll stack those interests. Now you can also do that. Same thing with let me see here. Was this it? Same thing with this. You can also stack the budgets and then break it down. So there's like a lot of ways of doing this, right? You can no, not the budgets. You can stack the interests. So let's say you have 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 of the best interests. You stack that together and then you break it down by the year, okay, by every year. And so now you have USA stacked interest all together. It's not split. It's stacked, and you're now dividing it by age range. Does that make sense? How to narrow your targeting on Quaya. So this is what I'm doing right here. So that's what I've just mentioned here, Hassan. So that's how you narrow it down. Okay, you stack them up. Let's say I have right here, I have 6 or 7 or whatever, 8, 9 of my best interests there. Not really technically best, but the best ones would of course be the ones that have the most at the carts, the most view contents. Okay, this one right here I would do, this one right here I would do, this one right here, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. I would take those into one, put them all in one in here, and then I would do whatever countries they were, and then I would do instead of doing split by this, I would split by this, by the age range. Does that make sense, guys? Reasoning for limiting the age range when you stack. So this is just another way of testing. Okay, sometimes I'll find out that because you guys are used to testing, 35 to 45, 35 to 65, let's say, you guys are used to testing it this way. Another way to drill it down to get more control is to test it between certain age ranges. Now, let's say you get the exact age range. Let's say it's like 37-year-old who are buying my product, and these guys are like, every dollar I spend, I'm making back $100, right? You go and you scale that out. What do you think is going to happen there? The exact thing is going to follow. That's your empathy map. Okay, remember how I told you guys empathy map? This kind of goes deeper in there. What is your empathy map? Is that person 37 years old or is he 38 years old? Are these guys baby boomers or are these guys, millennials, or were they born in a certain year? Okay, things like that. If you go in and you break it down into very specific age ranges like that, you can get rid of you can trim a lot of the fat and get only specific targeting. Now this is really, really, really narrowing down your targeting from a broader audience of like, let's say 35 to 45 to like, let's say 36-year-olds, 37-year-olds, 38-year-olds. Okay. Oh, look, someone's trying to access. Okay, here it is. Okay, so like I said, guys, if you leave and you try to come back, I have to kind of manually add you back on. Okay, here it is. All right. So I hope that answered your question there, Dennis. Yeah, no bathroom breaks. I'm sorry, but you can keep your computer on and while you go and things like that. All right. Any questions so far on this? Okay. Look at what happens if we break it down by every year. We have 5,000 ad sets. Okay, 5,000 ad sets times $2 a day. That's over $10,000 a day in ad spend. Okay, but now it's you're very specific on what you're targeting here. Remember, what did I say? Don't do this for new products. Only do this for products that you know you can scale. Okay, I would like to call this my interest scaling formula. Like this is the formula right here. You go out, you create all these interests. Let's create a legendary notepad here, guys. I want to call this the interest scaling formula. Okay, just kind of like how I created my formula on the fly that one time. This is a historic moment right now. All right, let's call this the interest scaling formula. Okay, so number one, go to either Quaya or Business or Power Editor. Okay, number two, target many, even hundreds of interests. And this is only for scaling existing winners, okay? Target hundreds of different interests. And you can use Quaya or Powder Editor. It doesn't matter what you want to use, but it's just a lot faster with Quaya. Now, once you do that, number three, within 24 to 72 hours, start removing ad sets with no at the carts. Okay. Oh, another thing. Now, if you're doing such small budgets, it's a lot easier to target. And this is with this test here. It's a lot easier to target at the carts versus purchases. Reason, because I spent a few $1,000s on purchase and a few $1,000s on at the cart, and at the cart for the ad sets worked a lot better. Okay, so this test right here that I showed you guys here, this ad spend, this total ad spend for all this, I tested both purchase and at the carts. So at the carts ended up becoming a lot better than purchase. Okay, start removing no ads or target many interests. And then number three, actually, let's do number three. Optimize for at the carts instead of purchase. Okay. So it's been tested, so I can say, tested. So at the cart worked a lot better with a smaller budget. And it worked better within the first 24, 40 hours. So what happened here within the first 24 hours, or even within the first 4, 5, 8 hours, I will see sales coming in. So when I do this, I will always see like a rush of sales just coming in, right? Every single time I do this. So when that happens, I will remove the ones that are not working and the ones that don't have at the carts, even within like below $1 of ad spend. Okay, because let's say you have 1,000 different ads and you're spending 1,000 different ad sets and you're spending $1,000 a day, it's going to come in fast, right? But also the sales are going to come in fast because it's reaching 1,000 different angles on Facebook ads. And so the money is going to be spent a lot faster than if you were to just do one ad set at $1,000 a day. So just be very, very careful with that. So I remove them within the first even few hours, first 3, 4, 5 hours. And then I keep the ones that are winning, and then I just repeat the whole process again. Okay, so that's one way of doing that for this technique. Okay, now number 5, after 24, 40 hours, okay, and then repeat the process from step 2. Okay, so you repeat the process, you go back, and then step 6. Okay, once you have your best ad sets, basically what you do is group them up into one, and then number 7, now test and split age ranges, for example, like 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, all the way up to like 65. Okay, now you split those, and then you find out which one of those work best for you. And you don't have to do a big budget. You can start with small budget. Okay, and then once you find out the best ones, of course you're going to scale out the best ones, right? You might find out 37-year-olds are the ones buying your product, and they're the best ones. You scale it to a $20 a day budget, and you have your best ROAS right within 37-year-old who like fishing, who like camping, who like hiking, and these are your buyers. These are like your best buyers. I've had campaigns. It's kind of funny. I've had campaigns where like iPads, like it was like literally like 45-year-olds on their iPads buying certain products, right? And those were the best ROAS. So this is a reason why you should test this, okay? And then let me see if there's anything else right there. Once you have that, number 8, scale those best ad sets with more aggressive budget, such as $20 to $100 per ad set, okay? Making sense so far, guys? Yes, it will be posted, Dennis. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and I'll actually share it with you guys here as well. And this is for, I like to call this my interest scaling formula. Okay, so I'm going to go over this again over and over. And this is just for scaling, okay? There's a lot of ways to scale. This is just one of them, okay? And then once you do that, actually, let me add one more here. Number 9, if if $20 to $100 budgets work great and over 20 to 50 plus sales consistently, then go to $1,000 per day ad set. Okay, per day ad set. Yes, you read right. Ad set per day per ad set. And I had a student, multiple students do this, and their biggest breakthrough was when they started doing this. How many of you guys, if you guys are on here, how many of you guys have started the $1,000 a day ad set and that was your biggest breakthrough? Put a 5 in the box if that was you. I'm pretty sure some of you are on here. Okay, let me save this and I'm going to give this to you guys here, okay? Okay, they're probably not on, but yeah, I know you guys are on here. Okay, so do that. All right, so you guys are understanding this so far? Put a 3 in the box if you guys are understanding this portion of the training so far. Okay. Okay, great. Alyssa, Trent, Doris, Atilia, Andy. Okay, good. I want you guys to really understand this part because some of you guys are going to use this and you're going to do really well. You're going to make a lot of money with this. Okay. Dennis, awesome, good. Okay, guys. Now let's head over to Quaya again. Now, once you get all of this done, it can't do, obviously it can't do 5,000. It could only do up to 200. So we're going to remove this. So now we have 168 segments. Now you can save this segment, okay? And let's save this as fishing. Okay, save template. All right. So we're going to save this template. We're going to use the targeting. So now what we do is we click this. So now it's all set. Oh, some reason. Oh yeah, that's right, because we didn't split it. But for example, if we did split it, it would be like 168. Let's remove this here. Let me grab this. Okay. Let me split this here. Split that. Okay, 168 segments. Okay, there we go. All right. All right, cool. So now this is what it looks like when you split it. Okay, we have, and it's going to show you like the audience size. 7.9 million people in the U.S., 35-65 male, who like fishing. Okay, 8 million people in the U.S., et cetera, et cetera. And then we go down, and then this is like, you know, UK fishing, people who like largemouth bass in the UK. Okay, so there's a whole bunch right here. We have 168 targets here, as you can see. Okay, then we go over to publish ads, and this is where we click generate ads. Okay, and then yep, so here it is. So and then what we do is we put in the campaign name, or we can create a new campaign, or we can put in an existing campaign. If you decide to put in an existing campaign, then put in the campaign that you have currently running. And then what you do is, now the cool thing about this is that you can actually name it. You can name it, for example, fishing, okay, United Kingdom, 35-65 male, sport fishing magazine, mobile newsfeed. So the template name you can get rid of, and then you can name it so that each and every single one of your ad sets will be named. And then you can start with a budget. So usually I start with like a $2 a day budget. So with 168 ad sets times $2, you have $336 per day in ad spend. So you're going to be spending quite a bit money here, right? But within the first 24, even like first 3-4 hours, you can start removing the ones that are not doing any add to carts. Okay, and then you click conversion pixel, and then you choose your conversion pixel, and then you optimize for what do you get? What you guys remember? How many of you guys paying attention? What do you optimize here for this targeting here? What do you guys think? Yeah, at the cart, exactly, Trent. So you optimize for at the cart. Okay. So don't optimize for purchases. If you optimize for purchases, it's going to be a lot harder. But if you optimize for at the cart using this strategy right here, it's worked a lot better for me than optimizing for purchases. Because when I'm optimizing for at the cart, that $300 ad spend is probably going to be spent very quickly, very fast, just because of the small budgets. And so I'm going to start removing the ones that don't have any at the carts and usually don't have any sales as well. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and save this. All right. Yeah, there it is. So let me save that. Okay, and then you guys can have this as well. So I'm gonna post this here. Any questions so far, guys? At what point do we switch back to targeting? So when I switch back to targeting is when I'm scaling, when I'm doing this part right here. When I go to like the $20 to $100 ad set, that's when I switch back to purchase. And then usually it works a lot better because Facebook already knows, and you already know that this targeting works best with this product. And so you switch it back. Yes, $1,000 per day ad set using day parting style. Yep. So I think that's in session I'm going to say like session 25 or something like that. That's when I showed that $1,000 per day ad set. Or 17. Peter says 17. Okay. So session 17 is when I do the $1,000 a day ad set. Okay. And a lot of my students, they've done this and they had the biggest breakthrough of e-commerce, like literally like life-changing moments once they did this. Okay. But you can only do this if you have a winner. If you don't have a winner yet, and this applies for like lookalike audiences and things like that. If you don't have a winner yet, you cannot do this. Okay, please do not do this because you're gonna spend money, you're gonna lose money. This only works if you have a winner and if you have enough data. Otherwise, if you don't have enough data, you wait. We're playing the waiting game here. A lot of you guys are in the waiting game, and that's fine because when you open up a new store, almost all of us is in the waiting game when you open up a new store, unless you already have the data. Okay, those are those guys that open up new stores and they go from like zero to like $100,000 whatever in like a month. That's because they had their previous store, and they had their previous winner. They just brought it into a new store, and I've done that a few times already. Okay, so any questions so far, guys? All right, let me see. We have enough time here to go over AOV. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so here's a question that I had. Yeah, so we're doing Q&A. Trent, we're doing Q&A. So here's a question that I had from a student. Okay, and how many of you guys have general stores? Put a 1 in the box if you have a general store. And let me see. For those of you that have general stores, put a 2 in the box if you're struggling with scaling. Yeah. So, yeah. So everyone that said they had a general store, they're also struggling with scaling, and that's always, I mean, usually the case. Like, I haven't had a student that had a general store and was like highly successful. They were focused on just one product, right? Even if they did have a general store, they were just focused on one product. So here's a tip that I gave to Ray. I'm pretty sure some of you guys know who he is in the mastermind. Here's a tip I gave to Ray, and here's a tip I'm going to give you guys, those of you that have general stores, and how to change it into a niche store safely and effectively. Okay. And it's okay if you have a general store, that's perfectly fine, but I want to show you how you can scale it. So before Ray had a general store, he was doing $200 a day. He couldn't get past $200 a day. He was like wondering why. I went into and this plays right into AOV as well. I went into a store. I was like, hey, dude, you have like all this stuff in here. You're selling like, cat stuff. You're selling like laundries. You're selling like baby stuff. You're selling like everything, right? You're selling gadgets. You're selling everything. But he had this one product that was giving him all of the sales, like 80, 90% of the sales. And I told him, wouldn't it make sense if you went in there and you created this store specifically for just that niche, to increase your AOV? He didn't believe me, but over time, after going through and showing him some things to improve his current sales, he started believing in me that I can help him with his general store to build it up. And later on down the road, he went on to doing his first $2,000 days, ended off the month with like $50,000, $60,000, right? The next month did the same thing, $2,000 a day, $3,000 a day, same thing, right? Next month, over and over and over again. Wouldn't that be life-changing if you can take from $200 a day to $2,000 a day? And a lot of it is like, a good portion of it is profit as well. Definitely be life-changing, right? So this is what you do. If you have a general store, you want to change it into a niche store, my recommendation is this, okay? Find top 2 to 3 products, okay? Evaluate which product is the best product, okay? And nowadays it's kind of unfortunate, but sometimes you have to kind of do this. But get a new business manager account and refresh the pixels just for that niche, okay? So you're going to get a new business ad manager account and you're going to refresh the entire pixels just for that niche. And so that niche, let it be like, let's say cats, then cats. But your store stays the same. Like the name of the store stays the same. Everything stays the same. You're just creating a new business account and refreshing the pixels. Now what you do is you hide or remove all previous products that did not sell. Okay. Most of the time, this happens for almost all stores as well. When I was working in college and I was working at this, this thrift shop and things like that, I was working 2 jobs before then. What they did back then, even in the thrift shop, they would remove all the products that did not sell within like a week or 2. And I'm pretty sure people like, in retail, they do the same thing because you go to Target, you go to Walmart and things like that, and they do the same thing, right? They go out there and they remove the products that are in the shelves that have not sold, or they move those products to the back of the store. Like what happened with some people who went on Shark Tank. They're like, yeah, all the products I had in the front of the store were now in the back of the store, but I had a lot of potential, etc. The reason why I was moved to the back of the store was because it wasn't selling. Even though it did okay, there was other products that sold even better in that position. So at the time, it was basically time versus money. Okay, are you going to sacrifice time, or are you going to sacrifice money for that? So in that case, it's also opportunity cost, because something else could be placed there that will bring bigger results, better results, higher increased AOV. Okay, so what I did was I told Ray, hide or remove all previous products that did not sell. Okay, and basically populate the store with products that are in your top seller niche. Okay, so for example, if the top 2, 3 products, you find the best one out of the top 2, 3, and which ones you think that you can, remember the previous webinar we had, has a massive reach, is desirable, and has credibility. If you feel like you can sell this product to 1 million people, if this is a niche that you can sell to 1 million people, then go with that niche. Okay, so you take those 1 or 2 products, and let's say you have 1 product, so you populate the entire store with products related to that 1 product. Okay, so let's say it's a, I don't know, let's say it's a dinosaur. The reason why is because I have this dinosaur thing right here. So let's say it's a dinosaur. Your niche is dinosaurs, okay? But before, you were selling cats, you were selling dog stuff, you were selling, jewelry, you were selling all this stuff. But your best seller was dinosaur. So you would remove everything and you would create this dinosaur niche store. Okay, and let's say this dinosaur product was giving you $200 a day. So $200 a day. Now you're able to, because usually people go through 5 different pages before they leave your store. Oh, hold on. So people are trying to get in here. So I have to like admit them manually. Yeah, I don't like this thing with Zoom. Now that you have that niche store, you put more dinosaur products in here. So you add 100 additional dinosaur products. Okay, what's going to happen is your AOV is going to go up. Okay, your average order value. Okay, now here's what's important about AOV, and we'll talk. This segues into that. So your AOV, if let's say what if you made an extra, okay, $20 per sale. Okay, what if you had an extra $20 per sale? Let's say you have 10 sales a day. Okay, what do you think 20 bucks a day will do per sale? It's going to go from you're going to make an extra $200 per day. Let's say you have 100 sales and you made an extra $20 per sale. That means you're going to make $2,000 extra with the same amount of ad spend. So the reason why we want to increase the AOV is so that we can make more and put that money back into our business so we can scale faster. Okay, so an extra $200 per sale, an extra $200 per day. Put a 1 in the box if that sounds appealing to you, right? If an extra $200 or an extra $2,000 per day sounds very appealing for you. Yeah, right. John says 1. Alyssa, yeah, Andy, Dennis. So it's very appealing, right? Now, to increase your AOV, this is what I would recommend. A lot of us, when we first start, we're very emotionally tied to our store. We're like, oh, I have this product and it sold like 5 times. That can actually be detrimental to your business with that mindset. And I'm going to be honest and I'm going to be blunt. Like if you are emotional to your product, you're going to have a hard time selling more products in the future. Okay, because you're going to be so tied up to that product. Product move left and right. Okay, it's all about the data. It's all about how much money you're making at the end of the day, right? Products will move left and right. If you're selling the fidget spinners, right? If you're still emotionally attached to that fidget spinner up until today, you're probably not going to be doing very well. Okay, fidget spinners is like a fad. It was gone. It's probably people start buying it, but it's not like a big thing right now. Okay, like I said, products move, they come and go. So if you are constantly attached to it, you're not going to have a good time selling on Shopify or Facebook ads. So there's a reason why even if you had a product that sold 4, 5, 6 times, I remove the products on my stores that do not sell, and then I replace them with new products. And this works well if you can have a niche that has new products constantly. Otherwise, you're going to have to keep searching for different products that other suppliers will have. Okay, so this right here, what I did with Ray was that he doubled his AOV. He was at a $14, $15 AOV. We were able to get it to like 30, 40 bucks average order value. So that's double his sales, right? From 200 bucks a day to 400 bucks a day. With 400 bucks a day, don't you think that you can take that extra $200 that you made with the same amount of ad spend and put it back into your business? Okay, instead of spending 100 bucks a day, now you're spending 300 bucks a day. You basically tripled your traffic source without compromising your ROAS and your returns. Okay, so now you're spending 300 bucks a day instead of making 200 bucks. Now you're making 600 or 800 bucks. Okay, per day. So the extra $20 per sale, if you're in a general store, this is my recommendation. Okay, remove all those other products that are not making you any sales. Get rid of them. Don't be emotionally attached to them, and then add the products that are going to be good upsells. And if you fill your product up with, let's say, 100 dinosaur products in this one store, and eventually your AOV goes up because people will see those other pages, those other products in your store, and they'll say, oh, I like this one here. I like this one here. I'm going to add this one here as well. Okay, so that helped him out a lot. And not just him, but I have 2 other students that I did this with, and it worked really well. It's when they transitioned their general store into more of a niche-based store. Okay. Now the AO, and then let me see here if we have any other questions here. John says, what happens if we don't refresh it? If you don't refresh it, it's going to be more of an uphill battle trying to scale that product if you already have your ad account set on just that. Okay, like this ad account right here. To be honest with you guys, this is a general store. Okay, like I had my guy just go out there and literally launch ads all day long different products. This is a general store. But what I plan on doing here is that once I find out the products are winning, okay, like this one right here, okay, this one right here, maybe this one right here, right? And then this one right here. Once I find out those products, I kind of get a feel of like what type of products they are, and then I'm going to go ahead and create a new business manager account, and then I'm going to refresh the entire pixel and refresh the entire store just for those ad sets there. Okay, overall the ROAS is not very good, right? 0.4. Okay, it's not very, very good at all. And it's not even tracking properly either. It's a little bit more than that because website conversion value is like 4,800. Yeah, 4,300 instead of 3,600. So it wasn't really tracking that much. Oh, actually, I didn't show you the, this was just purchase. The actual spend was, I think it's a little bit more than that. Actual spend was, yeah, so actual spend was 9,000, right? So the 9,000 spent was just to get the data. The 9,000 spent to make 4,300 was just to get the data. But of course, if I were to go in here and I were to filter this on only the ad sets that are active, then obviously it's going to be a lot better, right? It's going to be technically only $800 spent to make like this money here, technically. But of course, that's when you filter it down and break down your data and find out what's working and things like that. Okay, so this is the whole point here: is when you're testing, you're gonna either break even or just lose a little bit of money, so that you can find out what's working and then you scale the ones that are working. Right? I'm not going to go out there and I'm not going to tell you exactly which products I'm promoting, and I'm not going to tell you that because I spent $9,000 of my own money. So I'm not going to go out there and tell you, oh, by the way, guys, do this product here because it's doing really well, and this age range here because it's doing really well because I spent $9,000 of my own money to get this data. So I'm not going to go out there and tell you guys exactly what's working. You have to find out for yourself. Okay. And this is the reason why we spend this money so that we can find out what's working. And then over the course of the next few months, we can start to scale it out. All right. Does that make sense? Does that make sense why why a lot of Facebook guys are kind of hesitant, even not even hesitant, but like it's definitely not a thing to show your products is because of that fact that you spent all that money to get the data. And then, so this way you can scale. Okay. Then it says, so you can have 2 or more business ad managers. Yes, you can. You can have more than 2 business ad managers. You just go in here and then you go to business settings and then you create yourself a new ad manager account. You can have up to 5. For me, I have an agency account, so I can create up to 2,500. But I don't really need to do that. It's just insane. But you start out with 5, and then you can increase it when you have an agency account. Let me see here. Okay, Trent says, I tested new product, 30 ad sets, 7 ad sets. Oh, wait, hold on. So people are trying to get in. So yeah, guys, those of you that just joined, if you try to leave, it's going to ask me to admit you back in because of this new Zoom feature or whatever. And if I don't see it, like you might not be able to get in. So don't leave. Okay, so Trent says, I tested new products, 30 ad sets, 7 ad sets with single sale, rows between 1 and 2, great engagement. Should I test more ad sets or give up on the product because no winning ad sets? So a few ways you can do that, Trent. If you feel like it's a winning product, you can try this method here, where you do lots of different ad sets. The whole point here is getting data for your lookalike audiences. Once you have the lookalike audiences nice and built up and nice and beefy, then you can go in there and get better results. And of course, you're going to be removing a lot of things as well. You're going to be excluding people. You're going to be, removing ad sets that don't work, removing age ranges that don't work. And at the end of the day, after spending all that money, you're going to find out what's working, and then you can scale it up. Okay, that's always the case with Facebook ads, guys. Like I said, this isn't get rich quick, right? This is like once you get the data. Imagine you spent $10,000 in ads, but then again, the next month you make $10,000 a day in scaling. Wouldn't that be life changing, right? Or let's say you spent like $2,000 in ads, but then you end up making $2,000 a day in sales once you find the data. That's definitely life changing, right? Not a lot of people can say that. Oh, I've spent only $10,000 on my business, but it's making me $500,000 a year. Not a lot of people can say that, right? E-commerce is one of the only businesses that you can do that with. Okay. John says, repass question. Why do we need to refresh the pixels for that niche? Will it start with zero data again? Thanks for being transparent about the ad cost versus sales. It helps get the reality checks and the benchmarks. Yeah. So hold on. Some reason. Okay, I'm gonna mute. Okay, there it is. Yeah, Zoom is kind of buggy right now. For some reason. Okay, going back to this. So when you refresh the data, what I've seen a lot with the general stores is that usually general store people, they have a lot of different data. Like this one here it's like a mix of data. It's like even though I reached 500,000 people with a $9,000 ad spend, it's a mix of people here, right? This 500,000 people could be anywhere. It could be people who like are males, could be females, could be people whole opposite side of the spectrum in terms of targeting. And so inside my data, it's like very off, right? If I go to pixels, it's not very consistent. It's not one specific target audience. So Facebook is thinking that it's okay for them to send, like for example, if let me go back to my AWAP here. If you remember this in the previous webinars, it's like you're targeting dogs, you're targeting cats, you're targeting swimming, and then you're targeting bicycle, right? You have all this data mixed in here inside this. So Facebook thinks that this is your best audience. And so over time, they're going to be sending you this when all you needed was just this, right? So this is the whole point here. Let's say this is your winner. Okay, this is your winner, but inside your data, you have all this crap right here. You're going to be sent, let's say this is a swimming niche, S for swimming. Let's say your winner is a swimming niche, right? But you have dog stuff here as well. So Facebook is going to send you traffic from the dog niche. They're going to send you traffic from the cat niche. Okay, maybe people who don't like swimming, it's like the targeting is way off. They're going to send you traffic from like the outdoors niche. But all you needed was just this. So let's say you spent a total of like, let's say out of total, this is like $100 here, but this is only $20. So your $20 spend, you spent $100, but all you needed to spend was $20. So overall, over here, you made $150, right? Now imagine if you spent only $20 and you made $150. Big difference, right? So this is the reason why all this junk right here, all this junk traffic that you're getting is ending up doing this versus when you could be doing this. Okay, so this is the whole point of why you should always be narrowing down your audiences, because otherwise you're going to have a bad time with Facebook trying to send you traffic to stuff that you don't want, like traffic that you don't want. Okay, like this one right here, you can see like I have page views, I have view content, view niche. These are all mixed up. So my plan here is to take this ad account, create a brand new ad account for just that one product, all right, and then just advertise that one product and surround that niche with that one product. And that's how I'm going to get to better data and better ROAS, and also better average order value, because people are going to go see other pages and they're going to click add to cart on those other things. Okay, I did this with the t-shirt niche. I did this with some other niches I'm not going to mention, right? But it works really, really well when you do that. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Hassan says, Teo, about that scaling rule, only after 8,000 impressions we can make that rule. No, you can, that rule will only take effect after 8,000 impressions. So like if it's going to only increase it if it hits certain things. Okay, so for example, if we go in here, we go to rule, create a rule. So let's say all active campaigns, let's say we take one ad set or multiple ad sets or whatever it is, but in this case, all active ad sets, we're going to increase the budget by 15% up to $300 a day. It's not going to go past $300 a day. And let's say the conditions that we want this to happen is when the cost per purchase is less than $15. Okay, Facebook is automatically going to add the 8,000 impressions because that's the time it takes for it to optimize. Okay, it says here, the total number of times that ad was viewed What is it for? For newer campaigns, ad sets, and ads that have fluctuating results and need time to stabilize before rules with cost per result conditions are applied to them. We recommend waiting until your campaigns, ad sets, and ads have more than 8,000 lifetime impressions. But for me, honestly, you go for 5,000 impressions. Okay, 5,000 impressions, and if your ad has negative results, negative comments, feedbacks, do not keep running that ad. Okay, if you keep running that ad, you're not going to get good results. Your quality score will be a lot higher when you run that ad with only the best engagements. You can kind of trick the system a little bit, but doesn't trick it that well by using page engagement, using the engagement objective. So PPE, you can do that, get it a lot of engagements, get it a lot of hype and things like that. But usually the best type of engagements that you want is from add to cart objective or purchase objective. Okay, I hope I'm not talking like weird and I'm not talking like a different language here. I hope you guys are understanding this, all right? You guys are understanding this so far? Put a 5 in the box if you guys are understanding this. If you need me to slow it down a little bit, let me know as well. I will go back and I will reteach these things as well. Okay. All right, good. Attilia, Dougie, Tito, awesome, good guys. Alyssa, great. Okay. So let's see. Another question here is, yeah. So you can have up to 5 business managers. You guys can have up to 5 business managers. When you get to the point of like having an agency account, you can have like 2,500, and then you can even request for more from then on. John says, if I run ads 90% mostly on 1 or 2 products for a specific niche in a general store, do I need to refresh my pixel? Honestly, if I were you, John, I would. Just because if you're running ads for like hundreds of different products, like in this case, I ran ads for like 71 different products and in different niches and things like that. This was just a test store, 71 different products in different niches. But I found out, only 1 or 2 niches worked really, really well. Actually, 2 niches work really well. So 1 or 2 things, you can build out a new store for that one niche and that one product and fill up that one product, that store. Or you can fix up your store, and the easiest way to do is just fix up your store and fill up that store with just that one niche, that one product. Okay, niche stores typically do better in terms of average order value, and it's easier to scale as well. Now, what I did here was retail. This is all retail. Some of you guys started out with free plus shipping. Okay, so like I mentioned in the previous webinars, retail is definitely a lot harder than, as you can see here, the cost per purchase is really high. Retail is a lot harder than basically free plus shipping. Okay, free plus shipping is definitely a lot easier to make sales, and you're not going to spend $60 to get a sale, $46 to get a sale. But of course, in this here, this is overall. If I go in here and break it down, it's going to be a lot better data, right? For example, if I break it down here, let me go in here, let me click on this. Okay, let me click on purchase. Okay, let me do this. Okay, here we go. So of course, with retail, it's a lot harder, but then again, you end up doing something like this, right? Spend $6, make $164. And of course, like this one right here, spend 57. I don't know. I don't even know why oh, that's because the ROAS is not good. Spend $16, make 22. Obviously this one's going to be the winner. So I'm going to end up scaling this over time, but I'm going to wait until it keeps generating more sales, right? And then of course I had a lot of non-performers here. Okay, so this was a 10 ad sets. I had a lot of non-performers. I removed the non-performers. I kept the winners. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and get more ad sets related to this one here. Okay, so hopefully that made some more sense there. But that's all you're doing. You're just basically just drilling it down so that you can filter down the data a lot better. Okay. John says, refresh pixels. Is it the same meaning as resetting the pixels, such as starting all over again? So I wouldn't necessarily say that you're starting all over again. You're just, theoretically, you are starting all over again, but you're not starting all over because you already know what your winning product is and you already know what your winning target audiences are. So you just go into a new pixel and you're going and you're creating that one pixel, that one store pixel into that one super focused pixel. Okay, so from a non-focused pixel and having 50 different niches, 50 different products, to having one super focused pixel and selling one type of product that you can upsell to different products in that niche as well. Okay. Atelier says, what do you think about using Trackify and different pixels in the same store? Can we do that? Now you can. The only problem with that is that Facebook still has not been able to kind of, I mean, like, you can kind of separate it, but it's not separated, if you know what I mean. Like if you go and you create a custom audience and you create a custom audience of people who visited a website or a page engagement or something like that, it's all going to be the same. It's kind of like in the mix, right? It's all going to be in the mix. But if you were to have a store with one niche, one audience, one type of mindset, your average order value is going to go up and your lifetime value of a customer is going to go up as well because they're going to go back to your store and buy more products because they love that niche. Like let's say they're in the niche of, you know, paper making or whatever, Dunder Mifflin, right? They're in the niche of paper making and they buy paper products. Then they're going to keep going back to you because you know that they know that you have paper products and other things related to that. Versus doing an Amazon, right? Amazon has everything. You don't want to try to compete with Amazon. You want to try to take a big piece of the portion of a pie of a smaller niche, if that makes sense. But I have plenty of students that are doing that and literally doing like 6 figures, and even some students that are going to be reaching 7 figures this year just with their niche store. Okay. All right. Yes, I understand now. Awesome. Great. Okay. So let me go over some other things here. Now, another way I want to go over before we end this call, I want to go over a few ways to increase your AOV. Okay. So one way that I was talking to a student last night, Linda, and she was asking me how can I improve my average order value. One way to do that is to change your pricing. Okay, so let me explain this pricing structure here. Let's go over to AWAP again. So let's say you have a niche and you have a product and it's selling really well, and you're selling the product for, you know, you're selling it for $10, for example, and you get about 10 sales a day. Okay, so that means $100 a day for you. Okay, let's just simple numbers here. And then let's say you improve this product, but you increase it to $12, but you're still selling. Okay, you're still selling 10 of them. So obviously you're doing really well, and you just made yourself another $20 per day. With this extra $20, you can scale. You can use that to scale. Okay, or let's say you increase it again. You go to 14. Okay, or let's say you go to let's say you do a crazy number and you go from here to, like, let's say $20, right? You double it. You double your cost here, but you end up with only, you end up with 5 or 6 sales. Let's say you end up with 6 sales. You're still at $120, right? But since you're at that $20 mark, your AOV obviously has gone up from $10 to $20. You're still at $120. With this right here, it's basically the same thing as doing this, right? But let's say you do something else. Let's say you increase your shipping costs. So let's say you go from here, $10, and everything is appealing. Your average, your sales are still, the number of people, you have more people here at $4 for more people, but you increase your shipping costs. And I've done this multiple times, where you go from $5 shipping to, let's say, $7 shipping. You're increasing this from $50 to $70. So instead of 150, now you're at 170. Okay, so you're adding an additional $20 regardless, within your shipping costs. So a few ways of doing this. You can either increase your shipping. So for AOV, let's actually reload that. So AOV for pricing, you can increase shipping and test for 7 days, or you can increase your product cost. Okay. Benefits of doing this: increasing your product cost. Definitely, if your conversion rate stays the same, then what you're doing is you're just putting more money in your pocket every single day. Same thing here. If your conversion rate stays the same, you're putting more money in your pocket. Now, the only way this will work effectively is if it does not compromise your ROAS. Okay, so you shouldn't be looking at CPA. You shouldn't be looking at any of this. If it's costing me more to get a customer, but my ROAS go up, I honestly don't care. If I'm spending like $100 a day, but my ROAS stay at 2x or 3x, let's say 3x, and I'm making $300 a day, I honestly don't care. If I'm spending $100 a day and I increase my ROAS, but I get less sales, okay, from this to, like, let's say 4x, I increase my shipping costs and I increase my product costs, but my ROAS are now at 4x because now it's every $100 I spend, I make $400. But my CPA is higher, and the biggest pitfall here is that you're looking at your CPA and you're like, oh wow, my cost to get a customer has gone a lot higher. I don't really care if that happens. Or my sales number has decreased. I honestly don't care, right? If I'm getting more higher quality buyers at a higher price point, that means my ROAS will be at 4x. That means I'm making 4 times my money versus making 3 times my money. I hope that's not too confusing, right? You guys, is it making sense so far? Put a 3 in the box if you guys are making sense so far. Peter says refresh pixel, basically just putting in just creating a new business ad account and restarting that ad account with the same product that you have, but with your same target that you had before that you were scaling. Okay, cool. It's making sense so far. All right. Francie says, do you keep going with the product which will not give you consistent sales? One day you have 7, next day you have 1, sometimes 0, not consistent sales because by other means such as low quality score. So yeah, if it's not making you consistent sales, you got to keep testing new products, right? Just like I shown you here. This is a good example. This is a very good example right here of why you should keep testing products, right? Out of the 70 somewhat products that have been tested, you can see that only a few of them have made sales, right? So let's go back here. If it's not making consistent sales, it's not a product you want to promote. Okay, just plain simple. Like I want to be very blunt. Like if it's not something that's not working, you don't want to keep going. Okay. You want to keep testing different ones until it works. Now, also one thing I wanted to tell you guys before the end of this call is that these products here, this one here, and actually just this one, and let's see here. This one and this one, the two best sellers so far, those are products that I have not done any research on Facebook. I kind of saw it on AliExpress. I'm like, hey, this looks really cool. I think I can sell this. And those are like, I'm probably the only one in the market with those products. Okay, no one else has this product. It's not promoted on Facebook or anything else like that. Now, most of my sales, like 90-80% of my products are from products that I have found on AliExpress, and I found through the empathy map, and I knew that I was like, wow, this product could be a potential hot seller. And I went in there and I found, there was no competition. And that's when I started this product. These other products right here, like you take a look at all these other products, like I have 71 different campaigns that I've tested. And of course, only a few of them have made sales and results, right? So obviously this one right here, I'm probably, depending on like how many add to carts and things like that, I'm probably going to let this one go, let this one go, let this one go, let this one go. I'm going to let a lot of products go, okay? I'm not emotionally attached to it. I'm just looking at, like, I don't even like, you see these names here? Like, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the data. Like, I'm going to let this one go, keep these 2 right here. Let this, no, this one's good, possibly, okay? This one here, I'm going to let it go, okay? So I'm going to let a lot of these products go. But of course, I think with this one here, the reason why I did not let it go was because I found out in the breakdown that the ROAS were still doing well. Okay, so let's go back here. And then let's go to purchase. Okay, instead of performance, let's go to purchase. And then, yeah, so the reason why I did not let this product go was because of this. But now I'm seeing it's only for at the car, so it could be a lucky sale, right? This could have been a lucky sale. Like I spent Spent $15 to make 61. So this could have been a lucky sale. So I might even not do this one. But these right here, these are still running. And if it's not doing anything, like I'm just going to turn the whole thing off. So I will not fall in love with that product, even though, you know, spent time and things like that creating it. Don't ever fall in love with the product. Always go back to the empathy map. Like I said, the empathy map will make you guys rich if you guys understand the empathy map. Like no matter how many times I stress this fact, like if you don't understand the empathy map, Facebook ads and Shopify is going to be very difficult for you. Okay, this is why you're in this training with me, is so I can show you why the empathy map is so crucial, so important for you to. How do you think students like Jimmy, Mercedes, Evan, Brandon, Ray, and all these other guys? You know, I have multiple. I think it's like 17 students this past year that did over 100K and doing six figures multiple times. Those students, they all tell you it's all based on the empathy map. Okay, guaranteed. It's all based on the empathy map. You can't just throw stuff on the wall and hope it sticks. That's what we do in the beginning. But once we find the data, we start figuring things out ourselves, right? That's why I'm showing you guys like how to cook, like a 10-year chef and a 1-year chef. I'm showing you guys how to cook, and this is kind of like how to do Facebook ads correctly. There's no one right or wrong way to do this, but there definitely is the wrong way to do this if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so just to reiterate, going back to the products that I found here. I found these products based on the empathy map. Okay, what did people like? What are people saying? What are they saying? And if I feel like it could be a product that could scale to like, you know, 1 million people buying this product, which definitely it could be. Okay. So yeah, Francie, don't ever fall in love with the product. Just remove very quickly and replace. Okay. Trent, were the 70 products that's tested in the same niche? They were all different niches. A few of them were like in the same niche, but majority of them were all different niches. I just did that one just to test. It was like a test store so I can figure out and see if this automation works, and it does work. Like where I have a guy going in there and creating these ads and things like that. So it does work. All right. So let's go ahead and I do a lot of testing on Facebook ads, and you guys get the benefit of that by me telling you what's working and what's not live, right? Okay, so John says, were the 70 products tested image only or video? So some of them were image, about 80% of them were video. And 70 products, so this one here, like we test out in this store. I created this store about like 2 weeks ago. We started running ads 2 weeks ago. So I started this ad running 2 weeks ago. It says March 4th, but that's when I first created the ad account. But ads and everything, I think is like 2 to 3 weeks now. Testing about 10 products a day, every single day. And this is based on the product launch sheet. So we have the product launch sheet. We go out there, we test, and these are all hot products, mind you. Okay, these are all hot products in the industry. And this is what happens, right? Not all of them work. Only a few of them work with like you know, certain interests and things like that. But not all of them are working. And based on that, I found a few products that were just, I told, you know, I wrote down the ad copy and things like that. And those new products that no one has, those are the ones that are the best performers, like this one, and this one. These are products that no one has right now, that no one is promoting. Okay. And usually I'm patient. It's going to take a few months. I know that it's going to take at least like, because if I'm letting the data sit there for a while, kind of marinate for a while, it's going to take at least like 1 to 2 months before I can scale this thing out again. And usually that's the case, right? Usually if you don't have any of the data yet and you're starting from scratch and fresh, there's a reason why I did this also, to start from scratch to show you guys how this works, because a lot of you guys are in the same position. Usually it's going to take about 1 to 2 months before you can actually get things going. Okay. John says, how many products should we publish? list at our own store to increase AOV or conversions? What is the benchmark number of product for each store? So usually about 100 products I usually add onto like a niche store. Let's say you're doing a dinosaur store. So just add at least 100 products that people can resonate with and that people have bought before as upsells as well. You can find the upsells on like Amazon and AliExpress. When you click add to cart, you see what other people have bought with that product. So that's the best way of going about doing that. All right. Okay, John says, if I wanted to outsource the product research to my VA, what is the instruction specifically I should give so that they have a proper product research for me? Okay, so this is what you need to teach your VA. Okay, if they're going out there and they're finding like they're finding products and even products that have not been promoted yet but could be a potential seller. This is it. Okay, the same way I teach you guys how to do the empathy map, teach your VA the empathy map. Is this product a pain point? If it is, I'd love to have that on my store. If it's a gain, something that just kind of looks nice, I don't want that on my store. I want something that solves a problem. Okay, these are the products that are going to make you really, really wealthy, are the ones that solve the problem. I mean, gains, like I do a lot of t-shirts as well. Gains is fine, but honestly, like the pain points for those t-shirts or even like the passion points, those are the ones that sell most. It's not just because it looks cool or it looks awesome, right? It's because it solves that need, and like people are needy, like they want stuff solved for them. So if you have a product and a solution for them and it's only $29.99, then they'll buy it, right? They'll buy that to solve their pain points. Okay, so that's what I teach. I teach this, and then I also teach that you got to find products that I teach my VAs to find products that people are talking about, and they're saying, I need this, I want this, I love this, where can I get one? Okay, things like that. You have a higher chance of selling than just people just tagging their friends and things like that, all right? Okay, let's see here. Okay, so we'll go over all these other things here. We're out of time here, but we'll go over increasing AOV and value. But wow, guys, how many of you guys actually got a lot of value today? Put a 5 in the box and put a boom in the box if you guys got a lot of value today, as usual, right? That's what I try to do for you guys. Yeah, awesome, great. Looks like we have here Alyssa, Tilia, boom, Astrid, John, boom, Hassan, boom, Alyssa, boom, Tito, 5, Andy, 5 booms. All right, Brady, 5, Honapa, 5, boom. Carmen, 5, boom. Francie, boom. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. So I won't be around this week. I'm going to be speaking on stage for an e-com event for 3 days. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. And I'm going to be like probably tired by the end of the event. But if you guys want to reach me, you can reach me anytime. But basically, yeah, go out there. And for this week, how many of you guys took the challenge last week for the $100 a day or the $1,000 a day? How many of you guys actually hit your challenge? Put a 1 in the box if you hit your challenge, and tell me a little bit about that. Put a 2 in the box if you're still working at it. It's fine if you're still working at it. It's completely fine. Yeah, Brady's 2, Honapa's 2. Yeah, so a lot of you guys still working at it. That's fine. You know, it takes time. It definitely takes time. But basically, I want you guys to know that I'm here for you. I'm here to help you, right? I want every single one of you guys in this group, in this chat room right now. I want every single one of you guys to understand that I'm here for you, and I'm here to help you build your business. Like it doesn't like I would love it to come into the chat room and know that you guys are like crushing the numbers. It doesn't benefit me if I'm not showing you guys the good results. And if I'm not showing you guys the stuff that you need to know. So I'm only going to tell you guys the things that you need to know that's going to help you and benefit you, okay? So take the things that you've learned today, especially about the Quaya, and especially about, try the interest scaling formula. Try this out. Go out there and do some crazy numbers in terms of ad sets, and you're going to see good results with this. I've seen this work only if you have a product that's scalable. Okay, if you don't have a product that's scalable, don't even think about it. Like it's not going to work for you. Because number one, you might get lucky, but sometimes it's not going to work for you just because you don't have the data yet. So only do this for existing winning products, okay? Dennis, entire notepad will be copied. Yeah, I can definitely do that. I'll copy the entire notepad so you can have that as well. Robin, Yes. So just reach out to your coach. Uh, awesome, Robin. John says, thank you so much, Taylor. You're a real deal, inspiring weekly. Awesome, guys. Love it, love it. Hassan says, nice progress for me since last week. Thanks to one-on-one call. Boom. Awesome. Love it, Hassan. Uh, Dennis says, bada boom. Awesome. Great. All right. So yeah, guys, once again, I believe in you guys. Every single one of you guys. Like we have 28 people. I think we had like 32 people here, max tops a few hours ago, like an hour ago. But I want you guys to know that I'm here for you. If you have any questions, Q&A, this is where it's at. Okay. This is why we have these weekly calls, so I can help you specifically in a group setting so that everyone can learn from your campaigns, your mistakes, your successes. Okay. I want you guys to do the same. Okay. When I first started this business, I didn't have this. I didn't have someone who tested ads and showed me what was working that week or showed me what's working live. I didn't have this, right? You guys have this. You can utilize me in any way possible, and we're doing really well. We're doing really well. This year is going to be a very, very big year, and we're just scaling, right? We just keep scaling, keep moving, and it's not about, at this point, it's not even about the money. It's just about the progress. Like for me, it's not even about the money anymore. It's about knowing that I can help you guys progress. It's knowing that my business is also progressing as well, and I can scale, and I can keep testing Facebook ads, and I can keep testing all these cool new things that I'm showing you guys. Right? At the end of the day, it's all about progression for me. I mean, I know some of you guys, you're at the point where it's all about money, right? I understand that. I get that. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to take action on these things so that eventually you can get to the point where, your money is coming in, and it's not going to be about the money anymore. It's going to be about, like, we even had a joke with I had a joke with Jimmy, and he was like, he was kind of like competing with, like, Evan, because Evan is at the $20,000, $30,000 a day mark. He was like competing, like, yeah, I want to get to that mark, and it's not even about the money anymore. It's about, like, the competition, right? It's like the drive to get there. So I want every single one of you guys at that level. Okay, whatever it takes to get there. I know not everyone is going to get there, but those that will have taken a lot of action. I guarantee you, those that have will take a lot of action here. I hope 90% of you guys get there. I hope 80%. I hope even 100% of you guys on here get there. Okay, what is it that you need from me to help you to get there? That's the thing, and that's really where I'm getting at is, what do you need from me to help you, specifically you, get to the point that you want to do? And e-commerce is big. Even if every single one of us did $1 million a year, or even $10 million a year. Okay, we have 28 people on here. If we each did $10 million a year, that's $280 million a year. That does not even put a scratch in the e-commerce industry. Okay, e-commerce, based on this one graph I saw, e-commerce statistics. Okay, I think it was like $68 billion or something like that, industry. Like, if each and every single one of us did 10 million a year, would not even put a scratch in how much e-commerce is making, in terms of, and how fast it's growing. Okay, so like I said, money is out there. You just have to know how to get the traffic, and how to convert that into sales. So don't be afraid that, oh, I'm only limited to $100 a day. I'm only limited to $1,000 a day. I'm only limited to $10,000 a day. I can't get past that. You can always get past that. I know a lot of people in this industry doing $100,000 a day in sales. Like, I talk to my friends about that they're not entrepreneurs, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's like a whole year's salary for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane, but in like a single day. So there's definitely money out there. There's definitely traffic. It's all about the acquisition of traffic into your store, and the acquisition of having that traffic convert into sales. Okay, that's all it is, really. Artemio says, beginner still struggling, but I like to have those boom, boom, boom. I know I will. I know you will, Artemio. Every single, like, usually I have students, and just to kind of give you guys some background, Evan, and students like Evan, students like Jimmy. Jimmy started back in October, right? He's I'm not gonna say the numbers, but he's almost there. He's almost for his first goal. His first goal is, he told me, I want to be $1 million student. I said, you can do it. And this was back in October. when he was only at like a $200 a day. Mercedes, same thing, right? She's almost there. Evan, definitely going to be there pretty quickly, like in the next month or so. Peter just hit his first $3,000 day, like this week, after implementing some of the scaling strategies. Okay. And he was kind of stuck at $2,000 per day every single day. Now, that's all a mindset. That's all, everything that I just mentioned, it's all in the mindset, right? $2,000 a day, like you're stuck at that. Why don't, if you're making $2,000 today, you're making $2,000 tomorrow, why don't you increase the traffic so you can make $4,000 that day? Okay. It's all in the mindset. And sometimes we are our own people that stop us from progressing, right? So sometimes what I've seen for myself is that back then I was my own person stopping myself from succeeding and 10xing the business, and increasing the number of employees I would hire, or increasing the number of salespeople, or increasing the number of support people, right, that I would hire. I was my own person stopping myself from doing that. Once I broke free of that mentality. I did bigger and better things, right? You guys ever seen that show Limitless, where it's was this guy? The guy's like, all right, what's his name? I forgot what his name is, the actor. But basically, this Limitless is like you take a pill, and this pill makes you like super smart. And this was a guy, just like a regular guy, took the pill, made him super smart, made like $100 million like in the next month. He's like driving this Ferrari, going around the world, and he had to keep taking these pills. Otherwise, he'd become like dumb and not make any money, right? But basically, like this pill is kind of like that pill, right? I want you guys to be limitless. Don't think about $100 a day. Don't think about $1,000 a day. Think about like $10,000 a day. Think about how you can get there. But first, you have to reach those milestones. You have to reach the first $100 a day. You have to reach the second $100 a day. You have to reach the 7-day, 14-day, $100 a day, $500 a day. Now you're at $500 a day. Now what? But usually it takes about roughly 2 to 3 months. I've seen a lot of students be able to break free of that, because of course it takes time for Facebook to optimize your pixels and things like that, and for you to find your next hot selling product, right? But once you get to that point, like look at what happened with Jimmy, right? Zero to like $168,000 in a single month, within 4 months. Or Evan, in 9 months, after doing this, in 9 months, now he's doing $30,000 a day. Mercedes, she was at the $1,500 mark, $2,000 a day after I think I like 2, 3, 4 months or something like that, right? But it was all based on the empathy map, what I'm teaching you guys here today. All right, that's enough of my rant for today. I have 2 appointments after this, and I have to go and pack up and fly to Orlando tomorrow. But let me see here. Carmen says, thank you. You got it, Carmen. Yes, I still do that, Ugo. I still upload them. I just haven't sent them out yet. Let me see here. Sardar is still at 0, but hey, you know what? Everyone starts at 0, right? Usually, I like this quote, and this was a quote that I've really stuck in my mind. Is success is a measure of how high you bounce once you hit rock bottom. I was once there. I was at rock bottom. I had to keep pushing myself in order to get to where I am at today. But of course, I had a lot of mentors in between. And the biggest thing I can tell you guys right now is that in business, you always have to have a mentor. I have a mentor. Even I have a mentor. Like, I'm mentoring you guys. I have my own mentors, right? And these mentors, if you surround yourself with these type of people, and you surround yourself with that level, that magnitude of how much sales they're making, every single day, then you eventually become like them. You eventually learn how they work, how they handle things, how they wake up every day in the morning, how they sleep at night, the lifestyle that they have, how they do things, how they hire people, how they increase their business. And you eventually end up becoming like them. You end up like speaking like them. You end up talking like them. You end up with that same mentality, right? If I were a billionaire and I lost it all, don't you think I would be able to make back my first $1 million, right? You think about it that way. If I made $100 million and I lost it all, do you think I might be going back to, like, let's say, $100,000 type of thing a year? Or would I be able to go back to that $1 million fairly quickly, right? So this is why you surround yourself with all these mentors and learn from them. And this is why I feel like I'm so blessed to be in this business, because this is the only business that you can go out and you can travel, and you don't have to be stuck in one place. Like I was looking at opening up these other businesses, like these brick and mortars. I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, that's going to be a lot of time. Like I'm going to have to physically go there. I'm going to have to like open the store. You know, you might have inspections, like fire marshals, you know, inspections with building inspections, things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, that's a lot of work, right? But in this e-commerce business, you can make the same amount of money in a regular, you know, brick and mortar business, but online having to do 10% of the work of what they're doing right now. So I feel like this is a great opportunity for all of us to join in this e-commerce business, and also to grow together, because it's just getting started, guys. 2018, I guarantee you, Facebook's not going anywhere. 2019, 2020, you're going to see the same thing happen 2019, 2020. Facebook's going to have their updates. Facebook's going to have their update again, like October. They're going to have their update again in May. They're going to have the update again, you know, July, June, whatever. They're going to always have their updates. It's not going anywhere. Okay. And I don't see it going anywhere in the next 10, 20 years. If there is something that disruptive that will come by and take over Facebook, then most likely there's also going to be an opportunity to advertise on there as well. But for right now, Facebook is like a big money cow. Okay. And we want to ride that money cow. All right, guys. Sardar says, yeah, awesome. Awesome. John says, have a good rest. Awesome. Yes. Thank you, John. That's fine. That's fine. All right, guys. So once again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining. I want to thank you guys so much for, you know, all the engagement that you guys have on the chat room. And I'll see you guys next week. We're going to resume on Thursday. We're going to go over actually this Thursday. Yeah. So in 2 more weeks, we're going to do our Teo's Top 10. So next week, we're going to go over more AOV, more scaling techniques, and how you can double, triple your business from what you're doing right now. Okay. Once again, thanks guys for this webinar. Thank you guys for the engagement, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one, everyone.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and there's a link below for more information. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also click the notify button for any new videos that we come out with.